we wanted to take a few minutes here and talk about our favorite Kevin Garnett moments. I'm already freaking amped up just talking about it, just getting ready here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth. We're going to give you our 3 favorite Kevin Garnett moments. I've been talking here for a minute, Greg, so I want you to take the mic here and kick us off with some Kevin Garnett nostalgia.
I'm going to go with KG's pregame routine. There was absolutely nothing like being in the arena and seeing KG slamming his head against the stanchion, pointing to everyone in the crowd and pounding his chest. He literally made you feel as if he was like feeding off of your energy. Like if you as a member of the crowd did not give him enough energy, he would not be able to then deliver and win the game. He made you feel like it was that important that you were there with him. You literally wanted to match his energy. And then any of the KG promos during the game, like, let me finish. Like that stuff was just absolutely bananas. And I just loved witnessing KG in person.
Yeah, KG pre-tip, running around kind of the circle, pointing to the crowd, then doing the headbutts to the stanchion. I mean, I know personally, you and I kind of have like a routine when we go to Celtics games. We like to go to halftime pizza before, grab a couple
Shout
slices,
out halftime pizza.
one of those big ass beers. I don't know how many ounces it is, but they're sizable. I'll leave it at that. They're a little bit larger than a pint. And I think before the KG years and now post KG years, there's times where we don't mind missing, like, not that we're missing the intros, but it's not the same. During those KG years, hell no. We were in the building. We were in our seats. We wanted to feel the anticipation building up for that.
Oh yeah.
You wanted to be ready to go for that game with that. And there's not many that I've seen, not many in sports, not just Celtics. There's not many in sports that I think has that same attraction level. So that's a great one. I'm a big fan of that selection here. I'm going to jump into my selection right now. I'm going to get this one out of the way because it just has to be. After the championship, anything is possible. Gotta have that on there. One of the all-time just great championship moments. The confetti coming down. KG's just, he's out of his mind. I forget I think it might have been Rachel Nichols. I can't remember specifically who it was that comes up. He just has his own mind. His mindset in a whole different area. Whatever question was asked is not what was answered. Shout out to Soda, shout out to South Carolina, everything else that he had going on in that rant, man. And it was just so genuine. It was so pure. And it's that emotion from KG that he brought, man. And that summarizes it all right there at the peak of his accomplishment. So that for me is one of the top memories I got at KG.
Absolutely. That was obviously on my list. Wasn't there like a rumor or something? And maybe this is fact that
I was going to bring this up.
Okay, he was actually supposed to say nothing is impossible, is contracted by like Adidas or something like that.
Exactly. I forget what it was, but it was something along those. Like, yeah, he said anything is possible. I think he was supposed to say nothing is impossiple. I believe is what he said, which is hilarious because it's so close. But he just and the fact that he even if
he got paid.
True, maybe I don't know because whatever company it was, I'm sure they've used that, even though it's not their slogan. They've used that iconic shot in some type of marketing. Mm-hmm. But like the fact that he even, if it is true that he was supposed to be paid to say something, I'm surprised that he even remembered like to get that close to what it is, because he lives in such his own world that the fact that he even got that close is impressive in my mind.
Same. So the next one that I'm going to go with, we talked about this earlier with Lip Tack, but KG's trash talk. KG always said some wild shit. We were talking about the Honey Nut Cheerios incident with Lala, the Charlie Villanueva cancer patient, the trash
that one's sketchy.
Yeah, trash ass word I can't say. And just KG's relentless trash talk was just unbelievable, man. I just loved every second. And just you always wondered, like, what is that guy saying? And then when you started to get wind of some of the stuff that he would say, it was just like, oh my God, this dude's out of his freaking mind. Like KG is ruthless, and there is not any line he will not cross as long as it affects his opponent. I mean, the Honey Nut Cheerios thing was just so fucking funny. Even though you said that's not actually what he said. You can tell that people the research that you found about it. But he said something that pissed Carmelo off, because Carmelo during the game was like running up and down the court, bumping into KG's chest, and like wanted to fight KG in that moment. So tell me, what did he actually say?
So I don't know what he actually said, but like you said, it was clearly something that crossed the line or got into his mind, because like WWE style, he came out to the buses afterwards looking for, I don't know if he was trying to throw them hands around or if he was just trying to have some words with KG. But there's video of Carmelo like taking this after the game, and I think he got suspended for a game for taking it that far after the game. But the reason I say that I don't, from my research, that the Honey Nut Cheerios line was not entirely factual, is apparently Lala Anthony, who is in fact Carmelo's wife, wrote a book a couple years back, and she mentioned that, and she was like, I didn't really want to get into this, but it keeps coming up. Like, that line actually wasn't said. Like, there was something that was crossed the line, that she never said specifically what was said, but she just said that like, I don't know where this Honey Nut Cheerios thing came from. Like, Carmelo has told me that's not what was said. So I mean, maybe Carmelo just didn't want to say to Lala like that's what KG said. I don't know. The line itself is pure gold.
Maybe it was frosted. Maybe it was frosted Cheerios.
Well, Lala actually even made a joke that like Honey Nut Cheerios should be paying like her, Carmelo, and KG like a royalty on all the free advertising that they got from that line. So,
and for those of you that don't know what we're actually referring to, the rumor was that KG during a game against the Knicks whispered into Carmelo Anthony's ear, "Your girl tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios."
Which is some foul stuff to say to somebody about your girl. So I don't know if that's what he said, but he certainly said something that got Carmelo's attention. But KG's trash talk is just absolutely legendary. All right, the next one that I got on here, this is a very specific one that I have. I also had the Honey Nut Cheerio one on here because that's just it's just good stuff. But the one that I have on here is from a January 2012 game, a massive comeback the Celtics had against the Magic. And in a post-game interview, Craig Sager attempts to ask KG a question. Much like the anything is possible moment, KG does not answer the question. KG goes on his own rant of, yo, Craig, you ever been to a bar fight? You don't know nothing about a bar fight. Don't worry about a bar fight. This is a bar fight out here. Ask Chuck. He knows about a bar fight. He's been in a bar fight out here. We out here. And he goes on for about 30 seconds before then he stops and goes, oh, I'm sorry. You're trying to do an interview, right? And it's very similar to along the lines of the anything is possible, where KG has this mentality that I've never seen anyone else, where he's in this moment. He lives in this moment. His passion comes through. And if you put a mic in front of this man, he's only going to be able to take it in the direction that his mind is currently thinking. And this game, this particular memory, I also chose because I was in college at the time. I remember watching it with Green with Envy contributor Mark McDonough and a few other friends.
Shout out, Mark.
And we were all so hyped up from this game. The plan was to watch this game pre-game, go out to a bar, do whatever. All we wanted to do was just keep watching the Celtics, watching KG. We ended up going into the NBA TV archives and firing up the Celtics LeBron James Game 7 2008, and we stayed in and drank and watched that game instead. So it's like a whole memory for me that goes along with that, just being an epic moment isolated by itself. It's the personal memory for me, and just the way, I mean, KG transformed a random January night in college into something that I'll never forget, and I know the people in that room that I can bring it up to also remember it. So that's something that really stuck out for me from the KG era.
For sure. And also just like his relationship and playful banter with Craig Sager. Like his relationship with Craig Sager was just unbelievable.
Oh, Craig, you get a new suit? Craig, who buy new suits?
It was just so cool that he loved Craig Sager and the wild shit that Craig Sager used to wear. R.I.P. Craig Sager. My last moment with KG is a little bit of an emotional one. The one where there's that interview that KG has with Bill Russell, where they're just talking about like the history of being a Celtic, and KG is just so appreciative of what it means to be a Celtic, and it's just that iconic shot of them two sitting across from each other, talking to each other. The legend from the past, and the person trying to be a legend and cement his legacy, working his way towards the Hall of Fame. And KG's just general appreciation for what it means to be a Boston Celtic. Obviously Boston Celtics here, Minnesota Timberwolves here, but the fact that he just was like, you know what, love the T-Wolves, but like I'm a Boston Celtic forever. Like he just came in and was like, this is my shit for the rest of my life. I am rocking with the Boston Celtics. And that was just so cool to me, the fact that he recognized, even though Boston has its skeletons in the closet with racism, with the way that they treat their black athletes, He came in, he talked with Bill Russell, talked to Paul Pierce, and he gave the city a chance. And the city gave him everything back that we could, you know. And I thought that was just amazing, the relationship that we have with KG and KG has with the city.
Yeah, and he even referenced Bill Russell in his Hall of Fame speech the other night. You know, he made a good joke. He's like, I wanted to go first. I wanted to make sure Bill heard this before he fell asleep. So, you know, the relationship that KG and Bill have is really special. And I actually rewatched that interview you're referring to last night. I got down a wormhole of just different KG videos. And the way that he talked about like what it means to put on a Celtic uniform and Bill Russell's legacy and everything else that you touched on. And, you know, originally KG didn't want to come to Boston for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned. It wasn't until they made the Ray Allen trade when then he was like, oh, this is too much of a basketball opportunity. And he was super loyal to Minnesota as well. And, he talks, very highly of his time in Minnesota, minus his engagements with the previous owner who's now gone. But he just talks so much about that connection to the team and everything. And so it's really special what KG brought to the Celtics and him embracing what it means to be a Celtic culture, or however you want to frame it. And it was awesome how he embraced it. All right, last memory for me I have. I had a couple other ones that you've already named, so we're down to one that I wasn't sure I was going to mention.
Can't wait.
It's so KG and Big Baby Davis.
Yes.
I didn't actually get a chance to look up which specific game it was, but I think you already know where I'm going with it. It's a moment where KG is having a bit of a tutelage session with Glenn Big Baby Davis on the bench. And, we've talked a lot about KG's passion, his emotion, especially when he's on the court. He's got a one-track mind. So there's not necessarily a ton of nuance for KG when it comes to, expressing his coaching or trying to help a younger player. And so it's just this moment of him yelling at Glenn Davis, and Glenn Davis is overwhelmed with the information that KG is supplying him. And you can see Big Baby, a little bit of drool, I think a little bit of tear came out. And, ultimately, Big Baby had some of his best moments with the Celtics. And you have to think that some of that's brought on from KG. Now, obviously, maybe not the most ideal way to do it in a public setting like that. I mean, maybe KG could have approached it differently, but it's a moment that I can still picture. You guys can't see this right now. Greg's like imitating back to me the Big Baby reaction. And we can, all of us that are Celtics fans can picture that moment. Big Baby takes a towel and whips it down on the ground. It's, I don't know if it's the best moment. I don't think it's the worst moment, but it's just a KG moment that it sticks out to me when we started making this list. One of the first ones I thought of, didn't know if I was going to use it, but it's one of those things where if it comes to you first, I think you should go with it. And that's one of the ones that sticks out to me.
Thank you, KG. We love you.